Good evening. It's back to school for some 500,000 Ontario college students after the province passed a back-to-work legislation for college staff at yet another rare session here inside Queen's Park. This puts an end to the record-breaking 5-week strike, and now it's up to schools to help students play catch-up.
This terrible chapter is over. We obviously have a lot of work to do. The parties will go to mediation arbitration. That's what the bill says.
Less than 1 hour after the MPPs walked into the House, the bill, which was read for the third time at a rare session this weekend, passed, putting an end to the strike that saw 12,000 college faculty members on the picket lines. No surprise that the NDP heavily opposed this legislation.
I don't think this was the best way to get here. For 5 weeks, Kathleen Wynne dragged her feet. Unfortunately, we still have a broken college system to deal with where 70% of the faculty are not earning decent wages. In other words, 70% are working part-time and contract work.
The bill was tabled by the Liberals after the two sides, the Ontario Public Service Employees Union and the College Employer Council, failed to come to an agreement late this week. Though the legislation, which was supported by the Conservatives but opposed by the NDP and OPSU, will force faculty members back to work, the two sides can continue to negotiate.
We will challenge it in one way, one form or another. Off the top of my head, I'd say probably be a constitutional challenge. The legislation says that the contract as it was the day before the strike is still in force. So they're going back to work under the terms and conditions that they went out on.
The focus has shifted to salvaging what's left of this fall semester as the 500,000 college students head back to class on Tuesday. Significant changes have been made to help them play catch-up, with some having to shorten breaks. Sheridan, Seneca, Humber, Centennial, and Durham will start the breaks on December 23rd. Centennial students will be back in class on January 2nd, while the 4 others will start up on the 8th. George Brown from Christmas Day until January 5th. Colleges are also extending the fall semester into the new year and delaying the start of the winter semester. Seneca's winter semester will start on January 17th. Sheridan, Durham, and Centennials kick off on January 22nd, while George Brown on the 29th. Students attending these colleges will get a reading week. While Humber's fall semester will also be extended, the dates haven't been finalized just yet. However, students will not be getting a winter break.
The financial hardships are very wide. It's very difficult to pinpoint. It's going to be a very busy rest of the semester for students. They have indicated to us that they are very frustrated.
Ontario students are heading back to school this upcoming week after the province passed a back-to-work legislation putting an end to the 5-week-long Ontario college strike. Now, this bill is forcing 12,000 faculty members back to work, but the negotiations are far from over.
Again, I'm really happy to be getting back to work. I'm really disappointed that we're going back to a situation where education is not going to be improved for them. We didn't go out for more money. We went out to improve education in Ontario, and that hasn't happened. So that's really sad.
The bill was tabled by the Liberals after the two sides, the Ontario Public Service Employees Union and the College Employer Council, failed to come to an agreement earlier this week. The outstanding issues will now go to mediation and arbitration. Though the union had strongly opposed this legislation, he still calls the strike a win. That's because the government has launched a task force that will look at some of the issues that divided the two sides on the strike, including precarious work and staffing models.
They see the value of it now, and I do believe they're fully committed. So the College Council will participate in that. So actually, it'll be the first time the college system has been looked at in a meaningful way in, I don't know, a couple of decades. The precarious work, equal pay for equal work, is still on the agenda. It's a lot more public awareness of it now. And so they're probably the two biggest things. On the agreed to item sides, both sides there's some agreed to items, so that, you know, and there's some victories, I think, for both sides in the language in that.
And in a release this afternoon, the province said both sides have 5 days to decide on a mediator, arbitrator, or one will be provided to them by the Minister of Labour. And that mediator and arbitrator will have the power to determine what issues are important to include in the new collective agreement.